So we got to talk. Most of you, I'm sure by the time of this video releasing, will have now been made aware or are aware that AT&T had a massive outage nationwide. And most of you that are aware probably have AT&T or Cricket or some sort of third party that uses AT&T's network, rather it be Dish, some MVNO. So you're aware because your phone simply did not work. So a bit of better news to start off this morning. This is from Yahoo Finance. AT&T says 75% of its network is restored after thousands report nationwide cell service outage. So one thing I want to get out the way right away. Reports are coming out that all of the carriers were affected by an outage. Not the case. And the reason I can say that with confidence, Verizon already released their PR statement. And if it is big enough, I'm sure T-Mobile will release one too. So here's what happens in the instance of when others on the other networks are starting to report outages. It's because they're trying to contact an AT&T line. Whether that be T-Mobile or Verizon, they're trying to contact an AT&T user, calling, texting, and it's not going through, leading them to believe that their services are down. When in reality, it's the AT&T line that they can't get through to. So I wanted to get that out the way right away. Verizon released a PR statement. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video, saying that their services are up and running. And T-Mobile services are up and running too. I use T-Mobile. I have no problems. Now, one thing also, we got to be objective. No bashing. Everyone is subject to an outage. T-Mobile just recently had a texting and calling outage, somewhat at scale. This could happen to Verizon. So there's no bashing needed for any of this. I'm seeing some going around saying, oh, this is, this is AT&T's FirstNet's network and it's not working and first responders are struggling. If Verizon had that contract, they are subject to an outage too at any time. Something could go wrong. It just happens. Now, of course, you want to build enough redundancy. You want to prevent this from happening, and that's probably what AT&T is going to do. They're going to investigate. This is a large nationwide outage, so they probably don't know fully what caused this. But once they figure it out, they're going to release a report, and then they're going to try to not let that happen again. They're going to try to do everything in their power because they have that big, huge contract. They're going to do everything in their power to not let this happen again under any circumstances. So that's the good piece that's going to come out of this. AT&T, whatever caused this, is going to try to do everything in their power to not let this happen again at this type of scale. And as you can see here, no reason has been given for the outage, but federal officials say there is no indication of a cyber attack. So that's a good thing too. A lot of people were thinking this is a cyber attack. It's hitting all the carriers, and that was just not the case. So that's something that, excuse me, you gotta really look out for and be objective. There's still reports coming out. There was an article launched, I think about 10 minutes ago by Fierce Wireless saying all the carriers had an outage. No, they did not. This was AT&T and AT&T only this morning. And others on the other networks were trying to reach an AT&T friend or business partner, whatever, and they couldn't get through to them because their service was down. It wasn't their issue. So that's just what I wanted to report this morning. I woke up to a big mess. I mean, I saw this happened overnight, well into the early morning hours. Some people are still down. So I hope this gets resolved quickly. I hope they go to 100% restored, and then everybody can go on about their day. Some people are gonna, this is their first time potentially experiencing an outage. So some are gonna try to get a backup line or do a second line. And, I don't see anything wrong with that. But as a American consumer paying as much as we are for postpaid, we shouldn't have 2 or 3 carriers. How much are we going to pay for phone service in the future? That shouldn't be needed. There should be There should be a law passed, in my opinion, this is just me, by the FCC, that when a carrier goes down for X amount of time, that carrier automatically jumps to another carrier. Like today, for an example, AT&T goes down. All AT&T customers, because of the outage, not regularly, just because of that outage, they now roam on the Verizon network for the amount of time it takes AT&T to fix this issue. And I'm sure it can be done. And I think the FCC needs to make that an actual law, that if one network goes down, that network can roam on one other network until it's fixed. The American consumer shouldn't have to come out of pocket having to get 2 or 3 lines to have a reliable backup or whatever. That should not be the case. The FCC needs to put out a law that says, hey, if this carrier is down because of an issue, they can roam on Verizon for an hour, 2, 3 hours, however long it takes to fix, as normal as they would be on the native network. And then once it's fixed, they just go back to the native network. And that needs to go for all the carriers, in my opinion. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And let me know what you think the fix should be. I think that's the realistic one, is letting them roam onto another network while the carrier is fixing the issue. Once it's fixed, then they should be good to go. Because once a site is down or the network crashed, there is no amount of redundancy for the carrier. The next redundant step would be letting them roam onto another network while the issue is fixed. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.